Hello, welcome back to SCLC Today, the Southern Christian Leadership Conference. Wow, are we motivated. Just getting in from none other than the great city of New York, New York. It's so nice they name it twice. By the invitation of none other than Reverend Al Sharpton. He invited myself along with Reverend E.T. Cavanagh to come along and to present in terms of the civil rights movement, along with several of our other colleagues in the civil rights business. But ladies and gentlemen, let me just say this. It was a great turnout. Reverend Sharpton is to be commended, but I was so motivated to have none other than the Reverend E.T. Cavanagh, the Reverend Dr. E.T. Cavanagh from Cleveland, Ohio, who is 93 years young. Let me say that again. 93 years young, Reverend Dr. E.T. Cavanagh. And he also was on the program as we introduced him to being one of the first to bring about in 1967 the election to none other than the legendary politician, statesman himself, none other than Carl Stokes, Mayor Carl Stokes of Cleveland, Ohio. It was led by others, but primarily by none other than the Reverend Dr. E.T. Cavanagh. And he flew up, and he was at the convention along with myself. And again, the spirit was so high, Reverend Sharpton, I just want you to know that we appreciate that. We were there in the ballroom, filled to capacity, and prior to us coming and sharing in terms of the venue of the politics and civil rights that we present, there were at least 5 congresspersons that preceded us and did an outstanding job under the direction of Reverend Al Sharpton and none other than Congressman Jim Clyburn, Congressman Al Green. It was just something to be a part of. And Senator Amy Klobuchar, she was there, along with many others. And I just want to say that we are so elated that the civil rights community is collaborating along with the politics. You can't separate the two in the same family. I had a good opportunity to be with none other than President Mark Morial, President, CEO of the Urban League, my, Wade Henderson, in terms of his background in the human rights aspects of civil rights and what he represents, and my good friend, none other than Attorney Janice Mathis, Negro Council of Women. Thank you, Attorney Mathis, for being there as well. And there were others, but we want you to know that we were there. New York, New York. So nice, they name it twice. Want to talk about our convention also that's coming up. It's going to be our 63rd convention. We've been in business for 65 years. And this is something of a magnitude that we're so proud of. It won't be until the beginning of the second week of July, commencing July the 21st through the 23rd. Some will be virtual. Some of our convention will be in person. And we'll tell you more about that. But we're just so proud that the Lord has enabled us and blessed us to be all over the world. Get ready to meet with a delegation coming in from Ukraine to SCLC office in the next 2 days. And we're so happy that they're being appointed and delegated by none other than a good friend that I know and been to his office, Mayor Klitschko. Klitschko was a world boxing champion. Mayor Klitschko is second in command to a large degree because he's the mayor of Kyiv. Mayor Klitschko is sending a representation of himself from his office to SCLC. the Southern Christian Leadership Conference, because they want a partnership in terms of what we do in training in nonviolence, in the Kenyan philosophy. We want to thank Mayor Klitschko for him thinking of us. As I told you, we had offices in Moscow, representation with Mikhail Gorbachev, who brought down the Berlin Wall. And here you have this other young man who's president of Russia, won't even call his name right now, who's trying to dismantle all of the democracy that Mikhail Gorbachev was influenced in knocking down the Berlin Wall because of Dr. King. And here you have someone in a place and calling himself a president. Seemed like you're part of the mafia to me in terms of what you were doing and killing people, children, people of the residents of Ukraine, whom I know and met many of them, been out to dinner with them. Even met some nice folks in Moscow who carried me out to dinner, a 12-course dinner. But how can the enemy and Satan himself get into such leadership that we are currently experiencing? Ladies and gentlemen, people ask me all the time, Steele, why you travel the world? That's why. The mayor of Ukraine, Mayor Klitschko, is sending representation to us so we can help bring about a difference. Don't be surprised if we are asked upon to go to Ukraine. Why are we going if we are asked? For such a time as this. The good Lord put you in position to do things. And our tentacles around the world through Christ himself. The Trinity, I always talk about. The Father, the Son, and the Holy Ghost. Our next concern and congratulatory message is to none other than Justice Ketanji Brown Jackson. She was confirmed, ladies and gentlemen. She was confirmed. Great job, great work. And she has not forgotten from which she has come. She's always talking about her background and that we, as African Americans, people of color, black folks, came out of slavery. She talked about that. We came out of slavery. And some of our citizenry of this country still have a slavery mentality when you talk about suppressing of the vote. This should not be allowed, but we'll talk about that. You know, that happened June the 25th, 2013. Many folks didn't know about that, but I was there at the U.S. Supreme Court when Section 4 and Section 5 was gutted. No, I was not on the inside. I was on the outside with a big sign with Senator Hank Sanders and his lovely wife, Rose. We're talking about Rose Sanders. Hank Sanders was there, Fire Rose, along with my chief of staff, DeMark Liggins, and anywhere from 50 to 60 more folks on the steps saying don't gut Section 4 and Section 5 of the 1965 Voter Rights Act. You're taking away the preclearance, which gives the rights to southern states and all states to bring about their own agenda in gerrymandering and eliminating and bringing about not passing water, giving food to people in line to vote, and to remove the absentee ballots. Ladies and gentlemen, we have gone back 50, 60 years with that gutting of the 1965 Voter Rights Act. And I challenge you to come and let's do it again. We got to restore the 1965 Voter Rights Act. Sound like an executive order to me. President Biden can do an executive order to give us that vote that we need. The 1965 Voter Rights Act was the catalyst of freedom around the world. Thank you so much. Didn't mean to go that long, but you need to hear it. Love is what love does. We'll see you next week.